Maar ons begin met 'n kwessie wat baie Suid-Afrikaners moedeloos laat en dit is koalisiepolitiek. Verlede week het die leier van die Patriotic Alliance, Gayton McKenzie, op die program gesê die deur is toe vir enige samewerking met die DA. Vanaand is die DA hier om daarop te reageer. Ek verwelkom nou die party se leier in Gauteng, Solly Msimanga. Solly, so last week the Patriotic Alliance's leader, Gayton McKenzie, was on this program and he said the door is shut for any further cooperation, possible cooperation between the PA and the DA. Before you react to that, let's take a quick listen to what he had to say on the program last week.
Jy sien, die DA wil jou domineer. En ons kan nie gedomineer word nie. Die ding gaan nie oor as hulle sê in die steek laat. Dan is dit hy wat hulle vir jou sê, ek wil jou domineer. En as jy nie wil gedomineer word nie, dan laat jy ons in die steek. Hoekom sê Action SA nie dieselfde van die PA nie? Hoekom sê Vryheidsfront Plus nie dieselfde nie? Hoekom sê die ACDP? Is net die wat wil mense domineer. En vir die PA, hulle sal ons nie gister, nie vandag, ook nie môre domineer nie. Hulle kan maar vergeet van hy nagmerrie van hulle.
Solly, so as Gayton McKenzie says there that the DA dominates the smaller parties in any coalition, what's your reaction to that?
No, we don't dominate any other party. We just refuse to be part of a circus that has played itself for a very, very long time. We have said a number of times that those that we will form coalitions with are those that are serious about reforming South Africa, that are serious about ensuring that South Africa has an alternative to what we have seen for the last 30 years. And Gayton cannot come while giving the ANC a lifeline time and time again and come here and talk about another party that is dominating. We don't want that. We said, prove to us that you are with us, not coming here and auctioning yourself to the highest bidder. And this is what they've done time and time again. 3 times in the city of Johannesburg, 2 times in Nelson Mandela Bay, where they had an opportunity to turn away from the ANC, form an alternative, a solid alternative with others. And he had said openly that he doesn't care about our principles. He doesn't care about our wanting a better South Africa. All he cares about is power and money. He said it openly.
So what is the DA's official stance with regard to the Patriotic Alliance?
Well, it can close the door. That door has long been closed. We've already built a wall around it as well. We want parties that are serious about ensuring that there is an alternative to the ANC, not give the ANC a lifeline. Because the ANC has messed up this country. The economy is now, grinding to a halt. There is no proper plan in terms of infrastructure, rebuilding, maintenance, and upgrading. There is no plan to ensure that we fight crime in South Africa. There is no plan to make sure that we have a better education system than what we have had. There's no better plan, or there's no plan to rework, the health sector that is now crumbling. So we are saying we're not going to give them a lifeline. And if Gayton wants to do that, then the people of South Africa must punish them for giving the ANC another lifeline, for continuously voting with them, even though the people that voted against the ANC voted for the parties like the Patriotic Alliance and ended up getting the ANC, must really wake up and then say, well, is this what they want? And if this is really what they want, then they can continue. But we are convincing and we are going to talk to the people and say, do you want an alternative in South Africa? Do you want an alternative in Gauteng? Do you want an alternative in Johannesburg, as an example? And if the answer is a resounding yes, then they must vote for parties that is going to give them that.
But at the moment, it seems as though your hesitance to work with the Patriotic Alliance is standing in the way of giving the residents of Johannesburg that alternative, because the metro is still in the hands of the ANC.
Not necessarily. What we have said is that let's go back and seek a fresh mandate. Because 3 times the PA has come to the DA and said, can we negotiate? And 3 times they have gone to the ANC and said to the ANC, this is what the DA is willing to give us. What are you willing to give us? And we say we're tired of politics of auctions. We don't want people who come in and want to be part of you just because they get positions. And this is why we started the Moonshot Pact, is to then say, what does a South Africa look like post the ANC? What does a Gauteng look like post the ANC? And if you can then start to rethink that, you then say, what does it take? Before you get to the who part of it. And then you get to the who part of it, and those that are going to be committed will need to understand that they're committing themselves for the long haul, not to then come and say, if this one is willing to give me an extra position or extra MMC position, then I will switch. Because then again, I can promise you, 3 months from now on, had we agreed to this, 3 months from now on, we would have been seeing ourselves in the same situation again, where again, we're going to the to the voters again and say, well, there's a motion of no confidence coming again in the city of Johannesburg, and we said we're not going to be part of that any further.
But what were some of those demands that the Patriotic Alliance made that was for the DA just a bridge too far?
Well, we said to them, show us a commitment that you're not willing to, engage further with the ANC. So it is not.
But is that reasonable to make that kind of demand
again,
to a party?
They have proven, as I said to you, experience is what has really, shown us that these guys are not really interested in sustainable and in stable government. Because if you are going to then jump literally a week where you're saying we want to come around a table and then discuss this, you then make an announcement to then say if the ANC is willing to then talk, you're willing to then talk to them. Because then it doesn't show seriousness to then do something different. It only says to you, hey, I'm going to come and scare you unless you give me something better that side, then I'll come and discuss or, conclude with somebody else. And then after that, I will come to you after 3 months and then hopefully you'll give me something better. That is not what we want as the Democratic Alliance. And this is why part of the pact, the contract that is being signed, we are saying you cannot have these motions of no confidence brought in time and time again. At least you can bring it once a year, and that's about it. That we're trying to build, to go into a future where we're saying we want stability here going forward. And if parties want to really, have an impact and have sustainable government, they will come in and say, those that are willing to then have a window or door open somewhere in the back where they can negotiate, a side deal, then we're not going to be part of that. And I'm sorry, we've made that very, very clear. And this is why we've said there are certain parties that we're just closing the door on, and they can then talk about them closing the door, but this is something that we're not going to budge on.
But what about your coalition partners in the so-called Moonshot Pack who are willing to work with the Patriotic Alliance in the interest of taking Johannesburg out of the ANC's hands, for example? Is this not going to create tension if you are the only member of that pact that's not willing to negotiate or talk to the Patriotic Alliance when those other parties are?
Well, let's just clear one thing quickly. The pact that has been signed is not at a local level yet. It's looking at a national, it's looking at a provincial level. So that's one thing. It is also then saying, while you at it, these are the things that we've agreed on, how you communicate with your partners. You don't go and make side deals with people that are associating themselves with your opposition. You engage with the parties that are part of the coalition and that have demonstrated and that continue to demonstrate loyalty to the pact, that continue to demonstrate their intention to provide an alternative. This is why I said to you right in the beginning, if Gayton is willing to continue giving the ANC a lifeline, then why are we willing to then give him, the space in the pact? Because ours is to not give the ANC a lifeline. That's why when they put the national dialogue together, we went there, but we realized that this has nothing to do with finding a new solution or coming up with a new way in which we can then govern South Africa. It had everything to do with them realizing that they're not going to get the 50+1 and therefore they need somebody to give them a lifeline. We're not that party.
Right. Solly, thank you so much.
Thank you.